What happened to Meghan Markle's quiet birthday plans? You know, the plans that she briefed to Hello magazine? Instead, we had to see a woman who believes she should have a royal role in some type of sachet like a drag queen around her crap kitchen with a fake birthday tiara on her head. This is real.
Oh, dear.
Oh dear, indeed. This was all particularly tragic given that Meghan herself had to mark her own birthday. Tash, this is her most embarrassing performance yet. And amid all of the concerns about the state of the marriage, the fact that we literally hear Prince Harry utter those two fateful words, oh dear, this felt like it had so much more meaning and significance behind it.
It's just Meghan celebrating Meghan, you know, Meghan wishing herself birthday messages from Meghan to Meghan. It reminds me, she had a watch inscribed many years ago. She bought herself a tank watch and she had it inscribed for the future daughter that she might one day have. And it was like 2mm from MM. It's still very much the same, but it does make me laugh. I mean, why is she wearing it looks like a bridal pajama set that you give for friends. You go on a hen do, you know, like wifey material, soon to be sort of thing. And she's not giving wifey, she's giving crazy. But as I said in my video, Dan, the one thing I will say, this is the closest that Meghan Markle's ever going to get to wearing a tiara ever again. So, you know, let it go.
Small mercies. Small mercies. I mean, we certainly hope. But Tash, it's quite extraordinary, isn't it, to feel that you have to brief the media about the fact that you are going to have a quiet birthday, but then insist on invading your own privacy once again.
Yes, 6, 7, 8 photographs, plus various posts, plus a video. You know, this is really celebrating quietly, you know. Because she does make this so public, it allows this sort of thing to be shown. Whereas if she had actually not posted anything on social media, the world wouldn't be able to see that. Hang on a minute, the Kardashians, Kris Jenner, I mean, even like all of these rich people that she hangs around with or gets freebies offers. There's no public. I mean, the Kardashians is quite a big snub, really, but I'm not surprised that they snub her after Photogate. But yeah, there's no one of note actually wishing her happy birthday. I don't think even her friends Abigail Spencer even gave a public gushing one. She's normally very gushy, but yeah.
Well, she did last year, and they share a birthday, so it was particularly strange.
Yeah, I mean, strange in the sense that Meghan felt that, you know, the world needed to see her in a swimsuit again. I felt like the holiday summer dump was enough. This is Meghan's new thing that we're going to have to see a lot of thigh from her. And of course, even with that photograph, I mean, she was cosplaying Diana again, even jumping into the pool with the swimming costume because Meghan's mole found a picture and Diana jumped in. Exactly the same, you know, the leg positioning, the hand positioning. She's just, I don't think that she could relax. I don't think she relaxes when she's asleep. She's just constantly processing and calculating, I think. What can I do next? What's going to get me the most attention? And sure enough, it does work because out of all of the photographs that she posted on her birthday, or rather, you know, her staff did, of course, wishing her a happy birthday. The photograph that got most talked about was the one of her jumping in the pool because she looked like Diana. So she knows how to play the game. She does know how to play the game, really.
And I do think, Tash, that's what we see at the moment prioritized in Meghan Markle's social media. It's ever since Lady C revealed these rumors of Harry's close friendship with a woman in Montecito. All of a sudden, it's like, we're fine. I promise you, we're really fine. And the fact that she even posted the clip with him saying, oh dear, is like a sign that it's just desperate to show there is some form of proximity. He loves me really, okay? He even loves my dancing.
Yeah, I mean, with the recent summer photo dump that she did, I feel a lot of that was also the same. It was, you know, people saying that they don't do anything normal with the kids, and then you've got them all on the beach together and stuff. But they, to me, just look like a couple of people co-parenting, really, if you can even call it that. they still do not look close as a family. You know, Meghan stood there separately on the beach, as I said, giving herself a wedgie with a swimsuit. You know, and you never see them interact as a family, all four of them. And I do find it rather odd. I do find it bizarre, even if it's just them interacting at the back of them. You know, they're never actually just playing. Someone is clearly there taking the photographs of them, because there's always a fifth person. But you never just see them just being like a normal family. Even when they went to, what was it, the Halloween last year, they went to the pumpkin patch. It's all rather bizarre. It doesn't show that they are a close family unit. If anything, it just makes people question it more. It just looks odd. You never even see Meghan really playing with the children. You never see her throwing her children around, chasing them or anything. It's every photograph that she chooses to upload. It's very contrived. She's trying to send a message out into the world. But as I said, like even the one of her sitting in the restaurant with Harry, they were supposedly in Portugal. They don't look like they're loved up like they were when they were eating burgers and fish and chips and stuff. You don't have the mushy Harry and Meghan like they were at the Beyonce concert. And I can't help but feel that Harry's kind of done playing that game. If you remember when they did that dance in the garden, he took a bit of convincing before he'd smile on camera to actually play along with her. I think he's just done with her games and her nonsense and her constant thirst for attention. No wonder he looks drained, Dan. Can you imagine how exhausting it must be trying to keep her happy?
Oh my God, I know. Oh dear indeed.
Diana was shy when she was a young woman because she married in to the royal family, naive, innocent, very, very young. Meghan was not naive and innocent, you know, and she's trying to be all coy with her hand to her face. And then she did the thing which Diana was famed for, where she did the hat tilts and things where you couldn't quite see her eyes. And then obviously she'd tilt her hat up and then the camera flashes would go mad. You know, the cameras were in love with her. Meghan was always trying to cosplay her. And in part because she wanted the attention, in part because I think that she's always been obsessed with Diana. But I also believe in part because she wants Harry. She needed Harry to believe that she is the reincarnation of his mother. It makes him malleable. It makes him easy to mold. It makes him easy to go along with whatever she's plotting and planning. That's how I believe she's always played that game, where she was like, if we don't leave the royal family, I'm going to throw myself down the stairs, you know, just like your mother did. I'm going to do this. I'm going to. It's a sick and twisted game. It is a sick and twisted game, but I think Harry gets off on it. So each to their own.
Well, he's so troubled when it comes to his mother, isn't he? But it wasn't just Diana. Look.
Do you know what? I was watching this clip earlier and I was like, it's reminding me of something. It was the Islands in the Stream that they did on the Victoria's Netflix. Oh, that is creepy. She's cosplayed Victoria a few times, hasn't she? Like identical outfits, because Meghan was trying to be a fashionista. So then she just focuses and she goes, right, okay, who am I going to cosplay today? Meghan the humanitarian. You can look that up. And she copies Angelina Jolie, you know, certain hand movements and things that she does. It's certifiable, shall we say. Definitely something that I think the psychiatrist could talk about for many, many, many years.
Meghan Markle's kitchen tiara stunt sparks fury. Is she sending a message about Harry? What was Meghan Markle trying to say with a tiara in the kitchen? A seemingly playful moment involving Meghan Markle has sparked fresh commentary about her relationship with Prince Harry, and critics have quickly rushed to interpret the symbolism. To some, it was just a light-hearted, glamorous snapshot. To others, it looked far more intentional. And then came the backlash. One particularly harsh reaction dismissed the moment as insufferable. But is this really a calculated attempt to shut down speculation about Harry and Meghan's marriage? Or are people reading far too much into a simple social media moment? Let's break it down. Few items carry as much royal symbolism as a tiara. For generations, tiaras have represented tradition, ceremony, and status within the British monarchy. So, when Meghan Markle appears wearing something resembling a tiara in a casual kitchen setting, it naturally draws attention. Because the contrast is striking. A kitchen is ordinary, domestic, and relaxed. A tiara represents formality, royalty, and tradition. Putting the two together creates an immediate visual tension. But what does it actually mean? Was it playful? Was it ironic? Was it simply a fun, glamorous moment at home? Or was there a deeper message? The truth is, we don't know. And unless Meghan explains it directly, everything else is interpretation. The reaction also reflects the ongoing scrutiny around Harry and Meghan. Since stepping back from royal duties, almost everything they do has been analyzed. Their interviews, their public appearances, even their social media posts. And one topic that never seems to disappear is speculation about their marriage. If they appear separately, people assume trouble. If they appear together, others assume reassurance. It becomes a cycle of constant interpretation. So when the kitchen tiara moment surfaced, some critics didn't just see fashion, they saw messaging. A projection of unity. A display of confidence. Or even, according to some, an attempt to counter marriage rumors. But again, that remains speculation, not fact. The word insufferable captures the tone of some of the backlash. For critics, the issue isn't just the tiara, it's what they believe it represents. They argue that if Harry and Meghan left royal life, why continue using royal symbolism at all? Why a tiara? Why that imagery? And why in such an everyday setting? To them, it feels contradictory. But supporters see something very different. They see humor, playfulness, and self-expression. And that's the key divide. Interpretation depends entirely on perspective. The same image can mean completely different things to different audiences.
Followed by the video that Meghan posted on her Instagram story just days later.
Sprinkled my wildflower seeds on a bare hill right after the last frost and continued watering them for weeks. I never really thought that they would sprout in the way that they did, and now seeing them every morning brings me such joy. I have a soft spot for my cosmos, poppies, and everything in between. And there's something so beautiful about wildflowers in a vase to me. After collecting everything I needed for my little bouquet, I got inside to arrange it, let go of the idea of perfection, and instead just fall in love with the process every time.
Oh, she's got scissors, watch out.
But it is the end result, Tash, once she walks inside. I mean, it's
not quite the same finesse, is it?
No, but it just feels so coincidental. Do you know what I mean?
She's a plagiarist. She's done it with everything. Every quote that she comes out with, you're guaranteed someone else has said it. Everything that she's ever come out with, and it's got an ism to it. It's like, it's not an ism. Meghan has copied this from someone else. I mean, even when she started doing the As Ever, or what was it called, American Riviera Orchard, she was copying. She tried to get on board with the Flamingo Estate. She actually tried to go into business with them. There are a couple of gay guys that run a very, very successful business, and Meghan tried to get on board with them. And then they basically turned around and said, no, thank you, this isn't beneficial to us. And then she sets up her business practically copying them.
So I'm just going to copy everything you do instead.
Original thought, Dan. She doesn't have an original thought in her head, whether it's a speech, whether it's a candle, whether it's a bookmark. It doesn't matter. Someone else has already done it, and Meghan comes in. Or one pot pasta. That was Martha Stewart's famous one. But there she was. That's Meghan's one pot pasta now. Oh, I don't think it is, dear. I don't think so. I find it a bit too coincidental, really. I mean, when I think back to Eugenie's wedding day, I mean, that really was disgusting. She was meant to be friends with her, and she did that. She deliberately stole the bride's thunder. And we know when the pregnancy got announced, she went to Australia on their first official tour after their wedding. A matter of weeks later, and Meghan was still flat as a surfboard. She had absolutely no reason to announce the pregnancy then, and she did it to steal the bride's thunder. It's one of those unwritten rules. You don't do it. It's like when people get engaged, unless the bride has actually turned around and said, I don't mind you getting engaged at the wedding. You don't pop out a ring and do that any more than you announce the pregnancy. It's selfish. And I've always wondered if it ran a little bit deeper. People have said, that Eugenie and Meghan were friends for all those years, but all I saw was Eugenie still trying to stay in contact with Harry. And I know a lot of people turned against her, but I don't think there is a friendship there anymore. And as I said, she gave birth to a little girl on Monday. And the timing of the press release, and it also gave Buckingham Palace a wonderful thing to post as well, because Buckingham Palace put their statement out on Meghan's birthday. So, of course, you know, people have already gone, oh, well, Buckingham Palace didn't acknowledge Meghan. I said, well, why would they? Why would they acknowledge Meghan? She's someone that left the royal family because she escaped with her life barely intact and tried to burn down the very institution. And then you have a new baby born to one of the royal family's princesses. So it's a no-brainer, really. But yeah, I'm very happy for Jack and Eugenie. I think it's lovely they've got a little girl to add to their family of three. Lord alone knows, I think the York family could do with a bit of a boost. Not that I feel sorry for Andrew and Fergie, but obviously the girls, you know, my feelings on that, until they're proven guilty of something, I don't think that they should be dragged through the press as badly as they have. But yeah, I think it was perfectly timed, and I personally choose to believe that Eugenie did it on purpose, because it's just too delicious not to.
I mean, it does show you how much has changed, though, Tash, in that York family. I mean, you think back, I was looking back on this because I just wanted to remind myself. You think back to the birth of August, which was in 2021, and Fergie posted, as grandparents, the Duke and I are thrilled and blessed at the arrival of our grandson, August. Philip Hawke Brooksbank, he is a beautiful blessing and a bringer of such joy and love to all our family. And of course, this time around, just total silence.
Has to be. Nobody wants to hear anything public from Fergie, from Andrew, from Harry and Meghan. You know, people do not want to see a public statement coming from Andrew and Fergie. I mean, they are still very much in the corner of shame, as it were. And I think they will be for a very, very long time. But yeah, I can't see how even Eugenie and Jack would really appreciate their parents putting out a public statement. But Fergie's gone into hiding. Andrew's obviously in hiding. He's been banished. He's in his little cottage somewhere, hiding away. I don't think he's even allowed to go out publicly horse riding anymore, because the king got sick of seeing his face being taken accidentally by paparazzi. So yeah, it has to be private celebrations. But then it's about the birth of their grandchild. So I'm sure that they're completely happy with not being allowed to have a public facing happy cheers for their newest arrival to their family. I'm sure Fergie's taking it really, really well.
Not exactly. And Tash, you know how we were speaking earlier about how Meghan Markle is constantly trying to cosplay Princess Diana? What's so fascinating is actually one of the royals with Diana's blood is really sparking a bit of an internet sensation over the really quite heartwarming similarities between Diana. I'm of course talking about Prince George during the Commonwealth Games. And Emmy posted, I saw someone on TikTok say that George has all of the Diana expressions in this video, and now I can't unsee it. It's adorable. So I'm just going to show you, Tash. You'll look here, and it's when George looks over and then he looks up, and he does that sort of bashful giggle, and it is quite Diana-like, isn't it?
Oh, it is, definitely. He's very much looks like his grandmother. It's interesting to watch all of the Middleton children. You look at them as they grow, and they've all got, you know, very, very strong genetics from their grandparents, both sides. You know, Louis is all Michael Middleton. That is absolutely no DNA check required there. Whereas George, he's very much, I would say, like Spencer side. And then Charlotte, she seems to be a 50-50 mix, but I see a lot of Queen Elizabeth in her. Genetics is a wonderful thing, and it's a beautiful thing. All of those children are gorgeous, but you really can see strong Diana genes with the eldest, with Prince George. But that's the difference. That is genetics, and that is just his face and his features, what comes naturally. What Meghan does is unnatural. What she does is creepy and somewhat concerning, I would say, at times. That is someone that is calculating every move, every expression in the mirror, that studies someone that is no longer alive as well.
So, was Meghan actually sending a message about her marriage? There is no confirmed evidence of that. No direct statement. No verified explanation. Just interpretation laid on top of an image. And that's where media narratives often shift. A question becomes a claim. A possibility becomes a conclusion. And speculation turns into certainty. But without confirmation, it remains just that, speculation. Even after stepping back from royal duties, Harry and Meghan remain closely tied to royal identity in the public imagination. That creates tension. They are no longer working royals, yet still deeply associated with the monarchy. So even small visual cues, like a tiara, can trigger larger debates. For some, it's harmless fun. For others, it's symbolic. And for the media, it's content. Celebrity relationships are constantly dissected, but rarely understood. The public sees fragments. Photos, interviews, appearances, curated posts. But not the private reality behind them. That gap invites speculation. A normal moment can be misread as tension. A separate appearance can be misread as distance. And a playful post can be misread as messaging. So, when headlines suggest something like silencing marriage fears, it's worth asking. What evidence actually supports that? Or is it just interpretation built around an image? Meghan Markle remains one of the most discussed public figures in the world. Partly because of who she is. A former royal, a celebrity, and the wife of Prince Harry. That combination means everything she does is magnified. A fashion moment becomes a statement. A casual post becomes a narrative. And a playful image becomes global debate. The kitchen tiara is just the latest example. So, was this a calculated message about Harry and marriage rumors? There's no solid evidence to say that. What we can say is that the moment reflects how intensely Meghan is scrutinized. To some, it's harmless fun. To others, it's symbolic. And to many, it's simply another example of how quickly online interpretation can spiral. A tiara. A kitchen. A few seconds of imagery. And suddenly, a global conversation begins. But what do you think? Was it playful, or purposeful? And is the media reading too much into it? Let us know in the comments.